Hola amigos, this is Level 12 and today we are going to be talking about how Erased may not be as bad as you remember. And for those of you that have not seen Erased, this is your spoiler warning. So, for those of you that have seen Erased, it probably has been a while since you've seen it, so I'll briefly go over it. It originally aired in early 2016, ending in March of that year. For context, this anime aired the same year as Yuri on Ice and Re:Zero. I first watched it in October of 2020, and then just a little while ago, I finished it again in 2021. It's about a man named Satoru with a time travel power known as Revival, where he inexplicably can go back in time to prevent accidents. He cannot control this power, and it happens randomly. After Revival happens while he's on a pizza run, Satoru is knocked unconscious, prompting his mother to come visit him to take care of him. This later leads to her being killed in his apartment and him being accused of the murder, and he revives back to 1988 to prevent the killing of Kaio, Hiromi, and Aya. This all plays out better than I can explain, and I'm sure the rest of your memory has been jogged. So, while the anime was airing, people were raving about it. I remember a friend of mine actually followed it since episode 3 came out. It was popular until the last 3 episodes aired. Once that happened, people felt like the anime was tainted for them. And why was this? Well, with the anime being touted as a mystery anime, a lot of people felt the big reveal of the villain was lackluster at best and downright boring at worst. The big villain of the show turned out to be the teacher Gaku Yashiro, which, slight tangent, if you did not clock Yashiro as the villain during the candy in the glove box scene, you've lived under a rock.
なんかはみ出てるよ。
サトル、そこは触っちゃ。
ごめんな。これは。
サトル、見てしまったね。飴？見られた以上、もう隠すこともない。お前も食って今日は。
The subsequent 2 episodes involve Satoru waking up after a coma and finally catching Yashiro. So why were people upset at this? The first thing people bring up is that the show doesn't really do much with the mystery genre, which is true. As someone who grew up reading Mary Kate and Ashley books and watching Law & Order SVU, the anime does not follow the typical beats of a mystery. Or at least Satoru's main goal is not in finding the killer. It would be nice if he could, but his main goal is making sure no one dies. This made people that were looking for a riveting mystery disappointed that there was no real mystery to solve. Unfortunate marketing aside, why else did people not like the ending? Along with the show not really following the murder mystery formula, it also had no real natural way of unmasking its villain. Again, most people could see the villain from a mile away, especially after the candy in the glove box incident. A lot of people also felt that the villain was obvious. There were only a handful of people the villain could be, honestly, and if it was anyone other than the teacher or Kaio's mom, I would have rioted. And then people also had issues with how this played out in the ending, which I will get to in a moment. First, I would like to rebuke the mystery aspect of the show. I don't think it should have ever been advertised as a mystery anime. The manga is also advertised as a mystery, however, it also continued on longer than the anime. The anime ended in March of 2016, and the manga ended in November of 2016. The reason I don't think it should have been promoted as a murder mystery is because the story itself is less about solving the crime of the 3 murders, and more about Satoru finding a purpose and growing up. Satoru for the longest time exists in a shell of a man before he is prompted into action. He becomes the catalyst for helping Kaio, who the viewer grows to love. It tells the story of how compassion can change a person's life. The mystery aspect is just a slight garnish on the top that just has to be there for marketing purposes. In short, the story is not a murder mystery, but a sad, supernatural, slice-of-life, coming-of-age story. And it's regrettable that it had to be touted as a murder mystery, because quite honestly, I would have been fine if they never unmasked the villain. This leads us into the next big thing of contention, the villain himself. Again, a lot of people felt the villain was predictable, and again, if you did not clock the man when he had the glove box full of candy, you need to go outside. But again, I don't think the anime's main focus was on unmasking the villain. Satoru just wanted everyone to live, and the villain just so happened to target Satoru, so Satoru figured it out as well. I will concede that the ending was a bit much, like just all over the place. I mean, Satoru literally falls off a building onto a crash pad. It all felt very convenient and fast. I mean, I watched the anime twice several months apart, and the ending doesn't get easier to watch. But does that take away from the anime as a whole? No. In my opinion, I don't think it does. Hear me out. Erased was not meant to be some gripping murder mystery thriller, but more meant to be about Satoru fixing the past and subsequently growing from it. I mean, you have scenes of beautiful animation with amazing score and all the context of a heartwarming moment. I mean, knowing Kaio was in a safe home for once filled my heart with so much warmth that it sucks that people consider the anime unwatchable after the ending. I think Erased was a well-made anime that everyone should see. I do briefly want to mention some minor issues people have with the show. A lot of people feel like the time travel aspect is underused and not properly explained. The latter half of that statement I will agree with, Satoru just kind of has it, but I don't think the time travel aspect altogether is that bad. It's more of like a plot device than anything. The next issue a lot of people have with the anime is that Kaio ended up with Hiromi instead of Satoru, and I can't stand that logic. Satoru was in a coma for 15 years and went into that coma when he was 11. I wouldn't expect anyone, especially a child, to wait around for another person that may not even wake up, and upon second viewing, it makes sense that Kaio and Hiromi ended up together instead of Kaio and Kenya, because Satoru saved them both from being alone. Like, they had a lot of trauma bonding to do together. So that's why I think Erased shouldn't get as much hate for its ending as it does. Honestly, I'm more upset that I'm more bothered by the fact that people are upset that it's not some big murder mystery when I was never pitched to the anime like that. I don't know why people are upset over that. Also, when doing like research for this video, there's a naked Kaio body pillow on AliExpress. And yes, I hated it, and I did not sign up to be seeing that, but it exists, and I hate it. Thank you, internet. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more random fandom things. Ciao, chicos.